Hello, everyone, and welcome. Hi, I am Estela Mata.
And I am Juana Mata. We're the Mata sisters, co-founders of Looms for Lupus, needing a community of hope.
Yes, and we want to welcome you today to today's Community Empowerment Symposium, where you will learn about the role of clinical trials in advancing health equity. Today is July 19th, 2024, and we are streaming live via Looms for Lupus channels on Facebook, YouTube, and X. If this is the first time you are tuning in, welcome. Looms for Lupus is a nonprofit organization that provides awareness, support, advocacy, and educational symposiums like today's. We support those living with autoimmune diseases like lupus and overlapping conditions like fibromyalgia and mental health. We support those living with these conditions, their caregivers and loved ones, and the community as a whole. Our discussion today is about clinical trials. Clinical trials play a crucial role in advancing health equity. And today you will learn about clinical trials, their significance in medical progress, the different types of clinical trials, and how they impact healthcare outcomes. We will also talk about the importance of inclusive, diverse participation and why it matters. Diverse participation is crucial. We must ensure that all of our communities are represented and be aware of and understand the importance of understanding all the written consents and what clinical trials are about. And one of the most important things that it's a voluntary participation. But before we introduce our special guest, I want to read a brief disclaimer. The information provided today here during our symposium by Looms for Lupus and the panelists, it is a general information purposes only. And even though some of our panelists are medical professionals, what is presented today is not substitute for professional medical advice. And we ask you to please seek the advice of your physician with any questions you may have regarding your medical condition and your treatment.
Please put your name and where you're tuning in from on the comment section. And after the presentation, we will be answering questions and answers.
Yes. And with no further ado, we are going to welcome our amazing friend and amazing rheumatologist, Dr. Samy Metyas. Welcome, doctor.
Hi, how are you? Welcome, guys. Loom for Lupus.
Yes, we're excited to have you here again. It's so amazing to be able to have you work with us and collaborate and share, insightful information like today's session. I know clinical trials is a huge part of the work that you do. And if you don't mind, just kind of give us a brief, description or, if you want to introduce yourself shortly here before you begin your presentation.
Okay, my name is Dr. Samy Metyas. Thank you very much for having me. I'm a clinical associate professor of rheumatology at USC. I'm a director of Covina Arthritis Clinic, which is a big clinic here in Covina. We are 6 providers. And also, I'm a president of California Rheumatology Alliance, CRA. So basically, I'm doing clinical trial for the last 20 years. I have more than 80 clinical trial experience. And in the last these 20 years, so basically in all kinds of rheumatological disease, I'm a big familiar of the trial. I'm a big believer in trial. Because without trials, we'll never have any new medication available for us. Also, I'm giving lectures about all diseases, maybe national and international. And I'm very happy to help the community and teaching about clinical trial.
Yes, and this is one of the amazing partnerships and collaborations that we have. One of the things that we know about Covina Arthritis Clinic and you, doctor, and all of your team is that you are about the community. You don't just, service and see the patients come in and go out. You actually provide the service and provide the support in the community, inside your clinic and outside. And I think that is one of the most amazing things that I've seen. Not a lot of physicians can say that they advocate for their patients, that they are rooting for their patients, that they see and that they want the best for the patients. And we see it every single day. We see you in action. We advocate together. We collaborate together. And it's amazing to see that there are so many offerings that you do to our community. So what we'll do is I'm going to go ahead and remove Juana, and we'll come back, and I'm going to put on your presentation, and I'll remove myself as well. So you can go ahead and do the presentation. And just a reminder for everyone that's tuning in, please put in your comments and your questions in the comment section, and we will be going through those questions as soon as.
Okay. Okay. This is diversity in clinical trial. We definitely need the diversity in the clinical trial because it's important to have the drug like approved based in different kind of ethnic group. So when the drug approved, because most of patient is certain ethnicities, like white American only, doesn't mean much because it may not work for other like African American or Hispanic or so. So we need total number of diversity from all ethnic group. Okay, so can we go for next one? So clinical trial studies is basically it's a research on human participant. So there is pre-clinical trial, there is trial in comes on like animals, but this one starting in humans and is volunteer, all of them in their own like intent. And basically it's very important to add medical knowledge in specific topics. It's important when we have like drug approved, we need a trial to get this drug approved. And basically in some of this called clinical trial interventional trial, and some is called observational trial when the drug already approved and we need to see how is the side effect or anything like that. So let's talk about that. Rheumatoid arthritis and lupus. 20 years ago, we do not have any drug approved. We have very few medication like Plaquenil, like aspirin, and Motrin, Aleve, but we don't have a drug to help them. So this patient was dying right and left. We don't know what to do with them. Give them high cortisone level stuff until we start to have clinical trial, start to get drug approved in the market, start to give it to patient. Now we can say we do great job in rheumatoid. We almost like have putting rheumatoid in remission completely with multiple medication. And all this because of the benefit of clinical trial. Same thing with lupus, same thing with a lot of cancer. There is now immune therapy in cancers. There is a lot of things can cure cancer almost for some certain cancers. There is a lot of things done for multiple sclerosis. This is actually a huge difference. We are completely, imagine a kid 2 years old with rheumatoid, we don't have treatment for them long time ago. Now we have multiple medication and make a difference for them. Go for next one. So next slide. And so within the clinical trial participant, we receive certain interventions and protocol, and we have to go through investigators. So basically it has to go guidelines of FDA guidelines. And there is definitely protocols. There is certain things that patient has to sign a consent form, and clinical trial can be done in order for research to test product, say that a new drug, or even test like to see how is the blood test to be done is helping us or not, or even device like device for the heart or device for anything else. Even we have recently device for rheumatoid arthritis, or procedures like, or even certain diet. So even certain procedures. So the all advances we have in medicine in the last few years done by clinical trial. Can we have next slide? So clinical trial can be divided into phases. Phase 0, which is first phase, is involved small number of participants and basic small dose of the drug. And the aim of this to see is it reach right cells or not, if it work, how it will work, and how it affect on it. Then phase 1, which is very interesting, it's done on normal people, like small trials, few patients, very few, and basically can be normal patients, and we see how the drug is safe. And recently, I went to a big, huge centers here of clinical trial in Los Angeles. It's only phase 1, all of them normal volunteer, and all of them they test the drug on them to see how is this drug is safe, what side effect we get, and all these things. Patient getting reimbursement, get money for that. Okay, but he stay in this facility for 10 days or 2 weeks just to monitor him very well. So let's go for next one. Phase two is the first phase talking about the patient himself. And this is actually here, there is more patients involved with here. And it's basically, it's to see different doses of the drug compared to placebo, which is normal people, and see, or patient does not take the drug and see how it will be. And then we can have actually some patients, like kind of patient, to take us to tell us this drug is okay, this drug for this patient may work, and that's how it is even certain less number of patients. Up till now, the drug cannot be approved by FDA in the for a community, for people. We still have a phase three, and phase three is very important phase. That's now we need big number of patients, 500 patients, 600 patients, depend on the disease itself. And then we need more trials and more monitoring and more looking for adverse event, side effect, and more looking for patients dosing sometimes. So the phase two, it helps us in dosing. Phase three help us if the drug is working or not. And then it can be done in the hospital or can be done in the outpatient. This next one. When it comes to after phase two, we have phase four after the three. That's phase four after the drug already approved in the market and more than 1,000 participants. And that's already to see if the drug continue to be safe after we give it to big community. So we have preclinical phase before even coming up. This is after the animal phase. And then phase one, 20 to 80 participants, very low number of patients to see if the drug is safe. And it can be only in normal people, like normal to see if the drug is safe or not, very different dosing. Phase two, I'm trying on the patients with this number from 100 to 300 patient participant, and that's actually tell me more about dosing. I can try 5 milligram or 10 milligram or 20 milligram, what's the difference between. And then phase three is more number, 1,000 to 3,000, and now I'm looking for side effect and efficacy of the drug. And then after that, once the drug approved, you're taking about phase four. Can we have next slide? So how long does it take for an average drug to get approved? So now can take up to 10 years. That's a lot of time. So FDA will not get a drug, came an idea for somebody, oh, I like this drug for diabetes, and in a year will be out. No, it takes up to 10 years to get the drug approved and develop to get FDA approved that. And not only that, it takes a lot of money. If the drug has been proven to be successful by phase three, now it can be taken up to 6 to 12 months. Now, after that, they go to FDA, shows them the result. That's all the result, and the drug will be approved, and it will be in the market after they give it a new name, simple name for the community. Go for next one. So how much money spent? So people think, oh, doctors, this medication for rheumatoid is very expensive, $40,000 drugs. That's a lot of money. It takes medium $19 million in order to get the drug approved, newly drug approved. And in certain cases can go up to $30 million. Sometimes go to $1 billion. Can you imagine? To get one drug approved. So pharmaceutical company, yeah, somebody said this is tough, but let me tell you, they spend a lot of money. Not only development, it's a lot of study, multiple center all over the world. And it's a lot of safety and a lot of things, protections, and a lot of legal monitors, all these things, tests, and all these things. So even giving money to patient, most of large amount counted about phase three. This is the amount of money, bigger money to give into patients, to people who do the studies all over the world and stuff like that. Go for next one. So who can participate? Actually, clinical trial has a standard. So we need patient for diabetes, has to be type 2, has to be obesity, this amount, has to be this. So there is a standard. We call it inclusion criteria and exclusion criteria. So not everyone can be eligible, has to be going through the standard. So some patient come, doctor, I have rheumatoid. You have already a study for rheumatoid, but you do not have high inflammation markers. Then you're looking for somebody has high inflammation markers. Or you have osteoporosis, you look for somebody has fracture before. So it has to have a criteria, and you have to meet the eligible criteria to be getting in. Go for next one. So participations. So some research study conditions, actually they participate for certain type of disease, say lupus, or even part of lupus nephritis, kidney lupus, or maybe part of skin lupus only. So it's everyone is different. It depends on the study. And there is other six healthy participants or limited amount of people in the group in clinical trial. So the participations, it depends on the criteria, eligibility. So that's how they need that. So sometimes, like for example, this new medication for weight loss, they need certain weight, BMI above 30. If you are 27, is not eligible or something like that. So they have to have criteria and limited. Sometimes they limited to age, certain age until 80. For arthritis, osteoarthritis, you don't want more than that. So, the very difficult to get a trial for kids, by the way. Kids below 18 is a huge problem because we have to have a big control because we definitely taking care of our kids. So it's not easy to get a trial done for pediatric, but definitely it's great to have a trial for pediatric and medication for them. Go for next one. So how do participants qualify? Eligibility. So basically, you hear about this center doing trials, or you hear from news or social media, or even from TV, or getting from some brochures, or any, your doctors introduce you to that because some doctor doing this. So first thing, you see criteria. Are you eligible for this criteria? Do you have enough criteria? But exclusion. Sometimes a patient has cancer, can be excluded. If patient has hepatitis, excluded. Patient has any other diseases, can be excluded. So basically, it depends on the criteria. So doctors will go through inclusion and exclusion criteria. If you fit the inclusion exclusion criteria, decided okay, that's you are okay for this trial. And they taken the blood and they taken the x-rays and then some criteria in the blood. Maybe they found that you have hepatitis, you cannot be, or you have HIV, or you have high liver enzyme, you can put you in the trial. I will tell you the truth. They looking for a good patient, perfect patient. And sometimes patient is not helping the very, very sick patient, but they looking for somebody, at least as the patient has good quality. So they need the study to be, the drug to be approved. So if few patient failed the trial or failed the drug or something happened to them bad, and they look for your safety too, that's actually, it means not good for the drug and mean the drug will not be approved. So that's something which is very important. Go for next one. So, and eligibility, again, it depends on genders, like age. See, some studies, the woman to men, they see how is the difference. And the genders, they see also previous history of the other diseases. Like patient has diabetes, cannot be getting this trial, but can get the other trial, hypertension, stuff like that. Or rheumatoid, they not allow anyone has lupus in this trial of rheumatoid. So you have to fulfill all criteria. So that's an important. Next one. So the benefit of participating. So let me tell you again another important point. So that says that pharmaceutical company has like 20 drug in the studies. You may end up to be one drug approved by FDA, and they losing the other 19, and this all of them cost money. So people say the drug is expensive because it takes a lot of time money to make these studies. And after they spend 30-40 million dollars for one drug, after in the last stage is not doing good job, so they have kicked it out. So FDA said no, that's not good drug, so kick it out. So they end up we lose the drug in the last phase. And during my 20 years of doing trial, I saw that. Some studies started, but they didn't continue. So that's how it is. So what's the benefit of participating for patients? Number one benefit, which is very important, you help the communities, the life. So we all have a reason in life. So if somebody has rheumatoid and there is possibility of getting trials, why not helping get the drug approved? And that's an important to help other people, millions of people all over the world after you. So it's not bad. You are not guinea pig. Doctor, don't test in me. That's not right. We are not testing you. Actually, in the trial, patient is more safe because there is like 5-6 people watching the lab, watching people from all over the world, watching the health, everything. So basically, the actual patient more protected than regular medications. So you help the community, you help the drug to be approved, you help curing the disease, which is important, and you make a difference in the whole world in this we doing clinical trial. And this actually, it has a big role in healthcare. And participant has access to the therapy early even. And that's sometimes made a difference in life. And sometimes this drug, like we have some medication, the study continue for 3 years or 5 years. And the most important, no insurance. So even if you lost your insurance, the study cover you almost free. Do blood work, see a doctors, everything almost free related to this disease, and also give you drug for free. And sometimes give you, and most of the time, like most of the time actually give you money. And some money can go different from study to study. Sometimes they give you $100 every time you come, or $50. So sometimes total can be $3,000 for like 6 months trial or something like that. So you get him money, you see him by doctors watching over you, and lab can be reviewed by many people, and you're getting a new drug, and basically you are helping the whole world community. Go for next one. Next slide. So risk and participation. There is, let me tell you, may not be fully successful at the end of the trial. So the drug maybe is not perfect drug, but at least it can cause side effect. And but the end is we that's why we do eligibility. If patient very sick, we don't put them in this trial. But at least anything you have, you tell the doctor early, we stop the drug, and it's you do not have to be enforced to continue the trial. If you want to leave, anytime you leave, no problem. No anyone pushing you. But if you do well, why not continue? And can be like basically can receive some of them can placebo for certain period of time, but later on placebo mean nothing, and but later on continue take the drug. And safety is not fully known during the trial, but most of the time the doctors watching over safety very well and be sure that everything done. Yes, there is a problem of safety, but and we tell the patient about this before. But the same thing like when you take a new drug, there is some safety issue. Okay, for next one. Um, so next slide. Okay, so obligations as a clinical trial subject. So you have to be honest in telling the doctor what's everything for eligibility you have. You have to be fully confidential because the trial is still not even have the drug out yet. And you have to understand their histories, reports, trials, and protect throughout the entire trials. So you are very protected and everything. So definitely you protect the drug until it's actually out. So that's an important, you are obligations. And obligation very important for me, I'll tell you. You have to be also coming on time. If every 2 weeks you get the shot or do the blood work every month, you have to be doing that because as I said to you, the drug costs a lot of money to get approved to help other people. If somebody dropped in the middle because he doesn't like it or he doesn't feel like it, so don't do that because this affects the trial itself and affects the results. And when they count the result, it's again is the drug, and maybe losing the drug because 5 people decided, no, I don't want to continue just for I don't want to do it. That's not the right things. Let's go for next one. So how do they aim to help the scientific discovery? Because you can help in discovering new drug, as we said, new device, new procedure, save millions of life later on. So the people who enroll in the rheumatoid arthritis trial, they help millions of people later on live. Because imagine kids with rheumatoid, he only get Motrin, Aleve, Advil, high doses, get bleeding for stomach because of that. Now is doing like one of the drug, Embro, Humira, and all these things makes life completely different. It's not crippled anymore. They can walk, they can play, they can enjoy life. So this trial in the beginning helped these people for life. And not only him, millions of people. Make sure that safety and efficacy of the drug is important, is successful, and provide positive effect on participants who participate in clinical trial already. So that's an important thing. Go for next one. So variations in the disease. People may experience different, people are sensitive to medicine sometimes, and they experience same disease differently. So somebody like some diseases has multiple variations, like fibromyalgia. People have sleeping more than pain, different stuff like that. So variation can happen between genetic variability, between also certain group. So we have African American, they have bad like lupus nephritis and bad lupus, and not every drug for lupus nephritis help African American like white American. So that's how it will be the variations. That's why we encourage all ethnic group to get in trials. So, and it's important like exposure, lifestyle choices, and psychological and social factors, comorbidity, and basically it's personalized medicine. So that's why we take diversity is good. You know, I remember like there's Japanese, they don't do much of trial phase one, but we have here most of Japanese students when they come to study here in university, they go to like clinical trials, paid clinical trial here. So that's very interested for them, for Japanese community came here and find out, wow, they have data now, because we never had data in Japan. So the point is, trial is important to be multiple diversity from all over the world, because the disease is different with different areas. Go for next one. So why is diversity crucial in this? As we said, clinical trial lack diversity among participants. It may not be reflects the right actually like drug. We have one drug in lupus actually in the market now, great drug, but the problem we're facing, there is no much of African American from it. Most of the patients are white American. That was done the trial. So it's, even though we don't know up to now, when we give it now 10 years after the fact, it's maybe work the same way in African Americans, and like because the study was done. That's why FDA is not happy about that is doing this. They ask the company, can you do another trial for African American only? And sometimes they don't, they get the mess between them. Oh, trial is bad, they testing in you, they may not make you think that you will not get babies. No, it's not right. Trial is actually, we do the right drug, and we try to help later on the whole world and get the drug approved. And once the drug approved, it has to go through the trial to get approved. Clinical trial include greater diversity, and this is actually, it's very important to have better big group populations, improve healthcare decisions. It gives us more clue that it worked for all ethnic group. Like one of the drug that approved for lupus nephritis, Leukinase, the good thing, it has all diversity. So I can tell this drug is good for everyone. This is how it is. Go for next one. So we have, how does our, we have a group here work with us. It's called Midvin Support Group. We work together for 20 years in clinical trial, and that's a diverse representation by employing, targeting, recruiting all kind of diverse. We have like all kind of employees that work through different language and promote culture competence among the research team, and partner with diverse organizations to do that. And we try to eliminate the barrier in research, and we try to convince patient, sit with the patient, tells them, don't worry about the trial, I'm with you, I will see you every time you come for the taking the medicine and stuff like that. So we'll go for next one. How we can get involved in research. You know, our office here, we do clinical trial for years, and we have multiple. We have rheumatoid arthritis trial, we have lupus trial, we have gout trials, psoriatic arthritis trial, we have osteoarthritis trial. We have all kind of different trial, and close spondylitis before. We have multiple kind of trial, fibromyalgia, we did trials, fibromyalgia. We have even vasculitis trials. We have right now multiple trial for scleroderma even. And we have, it's a great thing to have this kind of trial to help like the discovery for the new medications. We'll go for next one. Anyone need us, you can call our office for clinical trial. So how about the benefit for physicians and patients? Number one, no insurance required. So when I see patients and I try to get medication approved, and insurance doesn't want, and a patient cannot afford very high expensive drug, so I tell them I have option of trial. That made a big difference, and patients so happy, they take the drug for free for a year, 2, 3, depend on the trial, and they get the good evaluations, and they doing well, and free drug. What, there's nothing better than that. Number two is, it's very important, there is no charge to patients. There is see doctor anytime. If you even have any side effect, cough or flu, you come and we'll take care of you same day. Sometimes when you call our office, busy day, we cannot even see you until we have an opening. But for trial, we open all the time for them, because it's a whole team of trial waiting for that. So offering alternative treatment for underserved population. So when you have patients has no insurances, or patient has like medical and is not covering, or kind of emergency medical, we can be open for that. That's a good thing for underserved area. So study drug and other diagnostic tests, no charge. Compensations, they get, I told you, they compensate for time and travel. Can be $50, can be $100 every time. If the patient come every week, they take the money every 2 weeks, every month, whatever it is. And sometimes compensation was big, can go up to $3,000 for one trial. Go Go for next one. So that's actually, we have multiple centers. The Midvin has, my office has a big office here, but we have other offices in Apple Valley, in Corona, Riverside, Menifee, Hemet, Temecula, and Tehanga, and Whittier. So we have multiple offices, but anyone want us to have that. As we said, we have all trial, rheumatoid arthritis, lupus, lupus nephritis. We are getting skin lupus, and then we have trial for scleroderma. We have vasculitis trial, and we have gout trial, Cristexa, which Cristexa is a very expensive drug, and we have gout trial, and that we have also, as we said, vasculitis. We have like all kinds of osteoarthritis trial injections and all these things. I think that's my last slide, but I'm willing to answer any question. I'm encouraging anyone, don't be worried or scared about trial, because trial is going to help you, help the community, help future patients, and help the disease itself. Without the trial, we'll never have any diseases. And we are lucky to have a lot of trial in the last 20 years to make a huge difference in all diseases we have. Thank you very much. I'm willing to answer any question.
Hi, doctor. We're back. Oh my goodness, this is amazing information. So I'm going to leave this slide really quick so people can actually take write down the website, but I'm also going to add it into the comments. So anybody that's watching later or wants to click on the direct link later, they are able to have that. So let me go ahead and remove it. This is all amazing and great information. I'm going to look at the comments. It's one of the things that I love about connecting with a community is not everyone even has ever heard of of clinical trials. So Jessica, let's see, she's saying thank you to Looms for Lupus for providing access to another community empowerment symposium. Thank you, and thank you for tuning in, Jessica. Let me see if we have a couple of other here. We have Adela. I think Adela comes to your clinic. Her husband actually is a patient. So thank you, Adela, for, if you have any questions, please let us know. There's a few other patients. I'll just bring them on right here. So meanwhile, they can start writing the questions. Hi, Emmett. Emmett, thank you for tuning in. And let me see, there's a few other people on here. Hi, Alma. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in. Yes, we're so happy that Dr. Metyas is here with us presenting. Yes.
Stella, I want to share a little bit about, my experience with a clinical trial with Dr. Metyas. I was on a clinical trial with him about, I want to say 10, 11 years ago, and my experience was amazing. Initially, I'm not going to lie, I was a little nervous, especially when you hear, friends and some family members that say, well, why are you going to join? You're a guinea pig. But after, I had my mind set and I really wanted to give it a try. So my experience was very positive. One of the things that I loved about, this clinical trial with Dr. Metyas is the attention that I received, the communication, all the information that was provided to me in detail, and all the support that I received. So for me, it was a very positive experience, something that I truly recommend. And again, as a Hispanic female, I also want to be, I want my community to be represented. So I was very happy to participate. But above everything, I loved the way I was treated, the way I was respected. And I absolutely loved your clinic, Dr. Metyas.
Thank you. Thank you very much. We're taking care of all our patient trial. I'm telling you, I can tell my patient, you are anytime, a lot of people watching over everything for you. Us here, coordinators, but also some people sometimes I get a phone call from somebody in Germany. Your patient so-and-so, his liver enzyme is a little bit up. Can you tell me why? I said, who are you? He's the monitor from Germany in the trial, and then somebody from England and somebody from this, because not only the drug is, a lot of people, they watching if there is any alarming coming. So you have multiple eyes on the patients. This is the beauty about trials. And if patient need anything, he call us in same minute. He comes, we take care of him. Even it's like a kind of take care of everything, like flu, upper respiratory tract infections, anything need an antibiotic, we take care of him during this time. So it's important to know that you are not a guinea pig. and it will never be like that. We're watching over the patients. If you anytime anything happen, we stop the drug. Anything, don't worry. But the point is, it's make a difference. We are lucky. Let me tell you, I was traveling to, for example, Egypt. They not banning clinical trial, and they don't have clinical trial. So the begging patient big because they don't have medication. They said, "Can we start clinical trial back?" We love that. I went to Bolivia to see patients there, and they don't have medications. They don't have Embryo, Humira, all this medication, none, zero. All what they have is naproxen and Motrin. And they said, "We love if you can help us to get the trial back to Bolivia because we need something to give our patient. We don't give anything for them. Everyone rheumatoid is hand like that." So the point is, we are lucky to have a trials. There is free medications. There is give you money, and they take care of you. So it's honestly some other people don't have it.
Right, right.
Yes.
So there is a question on my side. One of the questions is, will the participant or patient that participated in a clinical trial, will they get the results at the end of the trial or any information after the trial ends?
Yes, first of all, the patient get the result of the lab in every time. Every time we do the lab, we draw the lab, the patient has a right to take the result for the lab for him, the blood work. But we will actually, once the drugs actually approve at the end of the trial, he will know, like he will definitely know the mechanism of action of the trial, what medication is getting. Okay, you may not have a name yet, but it has, this is the mechanism like TNF, these things for rheumatoid, these things. So he knows about it very well, explaining in detail all the research and all the studies and all this that done before and everything. But at the end, definitely he will get the results of the trials. Like say the drug approved already by FDA, he will at that time he will know this drug, and this can be make it easy for insurance. I can go back and say this patient take trial for 3 years. Now he has to continue on the same drug. It worked very well for him. So this is will make me stronger to talk to the insurance and continue on the drug. So he will get the drug, the actual result of whole trial after, but during the study he will get his lab test. He has a right to get the lab test in it, or even his primary doctor, we can send it to him.
Right.
Yeah.
Actually, that was one of the questions that I have on my side. That what they're asking is if the medication or the drug that they're getting on the clinical trial, and after the participant ends or completes the clinical trial, but the medication did work for that specific patient, will they be able to continue the medication after the trial ends
Yes, continue medication after trial ends by the insurance,
by the
not
insurance?
because it says that the trial 3 years finish the 3 years. They sometimes they have extension, sometimes not, but they finish the 3 years. But they can get this by insurance. We can fight for it now because now I have a reason. I can say continue in therapy, and now we have a law in California. You have to continue therapy that work with you. So if the drug already approved, I can get it approved this way. So that's a good. So it says that I'll tell you something interesting about one of the trial we do. We do try. You know that most of medication for rheumatoid suppress the immune system. So we have a clinical trial. Actually, we did one, and we have another one. They work on vagal nerve. So no medication involved. They put like a piece of like rice hugging the nerve. It's called vagal nerve here or here in the neck, and they make stimulation on this nerve, and that's getting this inside your body. So make your own body fight your rheumatoid by itself. And they found this stimulation of the vagus with a small battery inside can be putting for life, and that stop the rheumatoid arthritis, prevent damage, prevent inflammation without suppress the immune system. So this can be one day a big thing. Imagine our patient of rheumatoid and other disease. It's already approved for seizures. Some seizures patient they done by neurologist here in the neck. But imagine this one day patient get without medication can cure rheumatoid. That's what we're talking about future. That's what ideas of doing it. Now with immune therapy of cancer, one day we're gonna be cure cancer with no chemotherapy. It's immune therapy. We making the immune system stronger to fight the cancer cells. And this is we have City of Hope has a lot of this and a lot of trials for that. And this is the beauty about trials. So people don't scare from trial because trial helping everyone, you and everyone else.
Yes, definitely. And I think, what you guys are talking about, closing the loop, because that was one of the biggest questions I think we've always heard about. Like, are we going to be able to get the results? And you answered, and the answer is yes. And then the second question was that, if if the treatment is working for the individual, can they continue it? And as you said, we are trying and to making sure that everyone that it is, that if something is working for them, that they continue it. One of the questions that was submitted before, and as I was waiting right now for others to pose their questions, was when they call in. If I call in, really the question is, if I call in to participate, how will I know if I can qualify? I know you were talking about
That's
earlier.
simple. Okay.
Mhm.
First of all, if you call for the office to get in the trial, don't call for seeing a doctors. You call for I need to speak with a clinical trial coordinator because I may have a waiting list for me, maybe a month to whatever it is. So you do not need to wait for that because I need to see you free as a full visit free for trial. And that's different than office visit. Okay, you have to be differentiate. So say that you have rheumatoid arthritis, you call the office. I have rheumatoid. Do you have a study for rheumatoid? Can I speak with the coordinators of the trial? So we have here in the office 4 coordinators. So we can call somebody. Yes, I have this. I have rheumatoid. So she will ask quick question over the phone. How long you have it? What do you take medication? Okay, come. So patient can come, a simple one, and then get inclusion exclusion criteria. Can be done through phone or can become in the office and do exclusion. And she goes through all criteria. I found patient eligible, done. So if patient eligible, we can do start an official doctor come examine the patient, and then after that do the lab and see you are 100% eligible or not. Because sometimes you are eligible clinically, but once you do the lab, you don't have inflammation, and the trial want to have inflammation. So something like that, and everything done. And during this time, you already get money, even though you may not involve in the trial later on, but because you start get the blood from you or do this, you get your own compensation. So but once you are eligible, you continue. So when you call for the office, call, I said, I'm talking about trial, can you connect me with a trial person? So that's, I can see you next day or same day. Like gout, the drug is called Cristixa, the drug $30,000 one vial every 2 weeks. So 6 months can cost $300,000. We give this drug for free and no placebo arm in the trial for gout. And this is beautiful. You know what? Because insurance give us hard time to give the drug approved, $300,000 in 6 months. So, and they give us hard time. Imagine this drug for free. And the reason they do trial is one thing. We give the drug every 2 weeks. So the company want to make it every month to be easy for patient. So they comparing between 1 month and every 2 weeks. You see how easy it is. So who get benefit? Both group, because both gonna get the drug. Either one we get it every 2 weeks, another one we get it every month, and they see what's the difference, on this one. So later on gonna help people, because imagine somebody take a day off every 2 weeks to come for a trial. Now we're only gonna come once a month, so make life easier. But the benefit of trial, you get the drug for free for 6 months. You get money even, and instead of you pay high copay and deductible. So that's the beauty about trial.
Wow, that's amazing that someone can just call. They could, say that they're interested, make sure that you talk about clinical trials and you speak to the coordinator, and they'll tell you, if you qualify or not. So I have another question. The other question is, if I see another rheumatologist, do you share the information with them, or can they find out, or can you share the information of what's happening in the trial as far as what's happening to me?
Yes.
So, okay.
Yeah. If you see another rheumatologist, continue seeing another rheumatologist. You not will not ask you to come to our office. Anything other than you're gonna be seen in the trial only for that. Okay. And our trial coordinators, you tell her my rheumatologist is Doctor so and so. Please send them all the lab every 2 weeks to the doctors. Send the name of the trial to the doctors. Send even more information. We give you something called brochure about the trial and give you consent form. So you can show it to your doctor and we send it automatically. And your relationship once you are in trial will be very good between you and coordinators, because we have no low number of patients on these trials. So they manage more low. So just tell her, please send me all information, all my lab, everything to my doctor every time. So every time you get doctor get a fax or whatever with everything that done for you. So no problem, and we continue to see your doctor. And if we're gonna see you in the office, we will see you for the trial only for see the joint swelling according what the trial want us to do, to watch for joint count, to watch for something like that. So all what we do, but you continue with your doctor, continue with everyone. We're not taking patients for you just only trial.
Okay. And then the other question was, if I am not a good candidate, will I be notified immediately, or do I start the process with the enrollment process and then I will be told later?
No, you start the first of all the enrollment. It depends on number one, inclusion exclusion, which we go through the thing, ask you questions about your history and stuff, and that is immediately you know you are okay or not. And then you go to next level. We take the blood from you and x-rays, because some trial needs certain lab to be in, like inflammation markers, rheumatoid test has to be in. So if rheumatoid came back negative, you are not eligible. So once you do the blood, they come from central. We send it to central location, can be Europe, can be whatever it is, and they come and tell us, no, this patient eligible. We tell you same day you are eligible, come to do starting first dose, or you are not eligible. We call you, tell you, I'm sorry, you are not eligible. But we can give you all copy of your lab test to take it to your doctors. Okay, that's how it is. So there is easy one, inclusion first, and after, if you pass the inclusion, you will know by after the lab test, which is within a week or 3 weeks, 2 weeks for sure. After you start the process, you will know either today, same day, or within 2 weeks.
Perfect. Well, those are the only questions we have so far. And, I think we've learned, so much, just not just about the different types of clinical trials like you were talking about there's some that will give you the placebo. You might not get the treatment. You might get the medication. It might work for you. And then there also, the other ones where you could just, continue to see your regular rheumatologist, and the added support, I want to say, and maybe clinical level, because they get to see you and they get to see their rheumatologist, right? So they have like almost 2 in 1.
Yes. Let me tell you something very important about placebo issue. First of all, most of the study, placebo is certain period of time. Can be 6 weeks, can be 8 weeks, can be not for all the study. And most of it, after that, you continue on the main drug after that, okay? So that's number one. Number two, the percentage of placebo usually very low, can be 25%, can be 30%. So majority of patients, they take the drug. Very few amount who do the placebo arm. Okay, so that's the second thing. Number three, we tell you before, there's a placebo arm for only first 4 weeks. Number four, which is more important, because we have to have, there is ethics in trials with the big FDA is big in that. Oh my God, if you are against ethics, they will, pharma company will be getting out of game, So you have to continue most of the trial to a standard of care and of medications. So you continue on the medicine and just adding these things. So even though you take placebo, but you continue on, we don't allow you to stop other drugs. Okay, number one. And also there is rescue medication. If anything happened during flare, we rescue definitely in between, and rescue can be going back to the real drug. So basically, don't worry about placebo arm, because it may be small percentage. It's only for few weeks only. And the most important things, you have to, most of the trial allow you to continue with the drug to help your disease. And there is always rescue medication during placebo arm. And the company has to put a rescue medicine, can steroid, can whatever it is. So don't worry about that. Don't think that we are guinea pig, you don't get nothing. No, you're always going to get something at the end, That's a
Yeah. Yes. And the other thing I think that's really, really important is when the individual decides to, participate in a clinical trial, they're able to know how long it's going to take. They're able to get all of this information when they're signing up, because there are consent forms that every patient that wants to enroll has to sign off, right, doctor?
Yes. Yeah, that's an important consent form has to be signed at front of the doctors, and also it detail everything. This is for how long, how many placebo arm, what you need to continue medication as. You call us anytime you have a problem. That's how it will be. So once everything has to be good guidelines. And let me tell you, the beauty about United States of America, we are the only people who don't trial, guys. There is a trial outside United States, but done by United States. So the drug. So if we stop doing trial, There's no medication in the world. Can you imagine that? Because the drug, as I said, costs a lot of money to get a trial, up to $1 billion sometimes, to one drug to be approved. So million, like $50 million for one, or 1 billion for one drug. Most of the countries will not do that. So because of that, if we stop doing trial, there is trial in the Europe and other, but our trial, they have no their own trial here. We have our trial there. So the point is, because it costs a lot of money. So the point is, if we stop doing trial and if patients stop to come to us to get a trial, there is no medication in the world. We stop treating cancer. We stop doing anything.
Yeah, and I think that's why it's so important for us. One of the reasons why we wanted to do this symposium, and it's going to stay recorded. So if anybody's not able to tune in during this hour, it's going to stay in YouTube. It's going to stay on Facebook, and we're going to share it, continue to share it. But one of the things that I love about this is because when we participate in these clinical trials, we want all of us to be represented, right, doctor? Because we need to know how these treatments are going to affect and impact our communities, right? Every disease impacts everyone differently, and we want to be included. And I think that's one of the biggest things is there's been so many things that have happened in the past when it comes to clinical trials, people not included, there's been a lot of issues in the past. So I want to make sure that people feel comfortable, that they know that participating in clinical trials is an option for treatment, that it is an opportunity to get better healthcare access, that it is an opportunity to change the lives, not just for you, but for others living with the conditions like lupus or other autoimmune diseases or cancer. And also, most importantly, is that you have the access to the physicians, not just your regular physician, but the physicians that are doing the trials, and that they're looking at you, that they're observing you, and that they're there to help you. And for me, I think this has been one of the most, I think, informative platforms, and discussion, because a lot of people have that mistrust. And I want people to understand that clinical trials and Dr. Metyas and his practice and other clinical trials that are going on, they're here to help us. They're here to have us get the information, be informed patients, and participate willingly. Accept that responsibility and not, remove yourself from a trial. Even though, it is all voluntary, it takes a lot of money, and it is, very important for you to really be in it if you're going to participate. And also, most importantly, do it for your future generations. With autoimmune diseases, our communities are impacted. And I know that if I'm not going to be here later, I want better treatments for our grandchildren and our future generations.
Well said, I'm telling you. And I assure the patient, there is a most tight structure things you can do, because above me, I have coordinator, I have monitors, I have the companies, I have FDA regulations is killing, is like above all this. So basically you multiple like pyramids above the doctors in trial, because everyone need to be sure patient is safe, trial is done right, and the drug will be help people, and that will be this thing. So basically it's not simple thing between you and doctors. It's not my ideas, guys. It's a major mean than that. So you are under well controlled. Yeah.
Yes. So, I have to leave it with, everyone, let's all be contributing to these clinical trials. Let's be contributors to our community and to our future, and let's help better our science, right, doctor? Let's help
That's
our
great.
physicians, have better treatments to offer to patients in the future. And most importantly, better healthcare outcomes, because that's what it's about. That's why we advocate. That's why we have these discussions. And again, I thank you, Dr. Metyas, for always being so willing to share the information, to share your insight, but most importantly, to support our community. I'm going to put on here the links for your website, for the website for the clinical trial, so they can contact you if you are interested in clinical trials. If you have questions about clinical trials, you can go ahead and reach out. If you just want to talk to Juana and see how her experience was when she was doing clinical trials, feel free to reach out to us as well. we are an open book. We want to give you the information. We want to support you. And most importantly, we want you to know that we are here for you, right? So
Thank you.
that's what it's about. I mean, we have other people that are just joining right now because I see them coming in. I know we're about to end, but the presentation is going to be recorded. Please watch it. Ask questions. We will be monitoring the questions. So if you have questions, we can get them back to maybe Dr. Samy Metyas and then bring them back to you. But again, thank you, doctor. It's always a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. You are doing wonderful job. Thank you.
Yes, we're trying. So thank you, doctor, and thank you to everyone that tuned in. And don't forget, follow us on Facebook, on X, and follow the YouTube channel because all of this will be recorded. And thank you again to Aurinia Pharmaceuticals for providing financial support to be able to do this as well. And thank you to all of the community members and all the patients that have been showing up and that are here present. And to Dr. Samy Metyas, thank you again from the bottom of our hearts.
Take care. Thank you.
We'll see you next time.
Bye. Thank you.